It's Saturday afternoon. You look back at the week, at the ambitious to-do list you started with, and you see the ghosts of tasks undone. The project you didn't start, the workout you skipped, the call you didn't make. It wasn't a lack of desire. It wasn't a lack of talent. It was a lack of a spark. It was that moment where you stood at the edge of action and simply couldn't make the jump. What is that invisible barrier, and how do we break it? The answer isn't in psychology or motivation gurus. It's in chemistry. In every chemical reaction, there is a fundamental law called activation energy. It's the absolute minimum amount of energy required to get a reaction started. Think of a giant bonfire, perfectly stacked with wood. That wood contains an enormous amount of potential energy, but it will sit there for 1,000 years, cold and inert, unless something provides a spark. It needs a match. That initial burst of heat from the match is the activation energy. Your motivation works the exact same way. Your ambitions, your goals, your brilliant ideas, they are the bonfire, filled with potential. Procrastination is the gap between that potential and the initial spark. The problem isn't the bonfire. The problem is the lack of a match. When you look at that task you're avoiding, you're not seeing the task itself. You're seeing its activation energy. And the higher your motivational debt, the higher that wall of energy seems. So, how do we become the match? How do we generate this energy on demand, even when we feel drained? Chemistry gives us a two-part blueprint. First law: be the catalyst. In chemistry, a catalyst is a substance that lowers the activation energy needed for a reaction to begin. It makes starting easier. For you, the catalyst is the art of shrinking the first step until it is laughably small. Not write the book, but write one sentence. Not clean the house, but put one dish in the dishwasher. This is the 2-minute rule. If an action takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. By making the start too small to fail, you drastically lower that initial barrier. Second law: create the friction. Sometimes even a lower barrier feels too high. That's when you need to generate a spark from nothing. A match doesn't create heat from willpower. It uses friction. You must create your own friction. Here's how: the sonic trigger. Music isn't just background noise. It's a neurochemical event. Putting on one specific high-energy song can flood your brain with dopamine and norepinephrine, literally creating the chemical energy you need to start. The physical state change. Your mind and body are connected. If your body is static, your mind will be too. The friction you need is movement. Get up and walk around the block for 2 minutes. Do 10 jumping jacks. This isn't exercise. It's a biological reset button that provides the spark. The environment shift. Often, your environment is what's keeping you inert. The friction you need is a change of scenery. Take your laptop to a coffee shop, or even just to a different room in your house. A new environment forces your brain to create new neural pathways, providing a powerful jolt of activation energy. The most beautiful thing about activation energy is what happens next. Once the reaction starts, once the bonfire is lit, it releases its own heat. That heat is more than enough to keep the reaction going. That first, impossibly hard step creates the momentum for the second. The completion of one small task releases a hit of dopamine that becomes the activation energy for the next task. It's a chain reaction of success. You are not lazy. You are a chemist in the laboratory of your own life. Stop trying to be the bonfire. Your only job is to be the match. So, for the rest of this Friday, and for all the Mondays to come, stop trying to move the mountain. Just strike one match. What's your catalyst? What's your spark? Share your personal formula for activation energy in the comments below. And if you're ready to master the science of your own potential, subscribe and join our community.